Okay.
Hey, kid.
Oh, am I actually? Oh, okay, sorry. I thought this was a cutscene. My bad.
Get up, kid. Come on, that ain't funny. I say get up. That's more like it. Now, set that shard into the monument there. Then we'll talk.
You guys ready? Let's do this.
The Bastion. It's finally finished. Now, there's something I want you to see. Welcome to the heart of the Bastion. I ain't one for long goodbyes, so here's the deal. Zia and I figure you done the heavy lifting, so you get to do the honors. We can tell you how to work this thing if you got any questions.
What is this?
Hey, kid.
Time machine?
You can undo the calamity here and now. Go on, kid. And before I forget, thank you. Zolf only brought more
sorry,
room to
did
the
not
order.
mean to
No
select
wonder
that
they
one.
didn't take kindly to him.
Wait, oh, can I just... Oh, actually... I guess I can ask him about that.
Always wondered what the motherland was like. Not that it matters anymore.
Alright, let's just ask him as much as we
You've
can.
got one thing left to do, so you hang on to that badge. Besides, you earned it.
No.
Don't let anything you've done get to you. You can save all those creatures here and now.
Thanks, old man. Let's go talk to Zia.
You made it.
Oh, that's her voice? Okay.
So, let's see. You can either prevent the calamity, or stick around with me and Rex. I'd hate to be in your shoes. If I could be any place I wanted, I'd stay right here. We could go anywhere in the world.
So...
Zolf tried to talk me into joining him. I tried to talk him out of it. I guess we both failed. When I finally found my people, I told them we could help. They just took me for a traitor. Glad you showed up. Any moment I'd want to live again happened after the calamity, not before.
Alright then, you guys. Looks like, from what they're saying, there's a choice. We can time travel and go back to the past, while these two stay here and keep the Bastion going, I guess, until they essentially die. Or we could stay here with them and keep them company. I think, right? Yep. So this process will restore to a previous state and is irreversible. Or this process will cause irreparable damage to the core receptacles, disabling the restoration protocol. So evacuation or restoration? This is tricky. This is tricky because if we did a restoration, here's the thing. If we did a restoration, what would stop it from happening again, like he said? But if we... I guess if we did evacuation, we could leave with them and start the world over again. Tricky. I am going to have to go with evacuation. Just so, in the case that it happens again, that it just doesn't happen again.
Oh, mother. And here I figured you'd had enough of me by now. You could have undone the calamity itself. But instead you want to stay in a world like this. I gotta admit, kid, I ain't yet put much thought in that idea of carrying on with you here. We can't go back no more. but I suppose we could go wherever we please. And if anyone's left out there, I sure would like to see the look on their faces when we dock this thing right on their doorstep. Getting ahead of myself, though. I'm gonna need a first mate. What do you say?
Well, you guys, that's it. That's Bastion. I am pretty pleased with that ending. Actually, it was pretty short and sweet. In fact, the whole game, the entire game was short and sweet. It was about probably six hours for me. Oh, you got pictures in the background there. Got about 6 hours for me. It's very, very, very much worth playing, in my opinion. Sorry about that rant in the middle of the last part during the final stage area, but, you know, whatever. Here we are, the ending. So I guess I'll give my thoughts on the game, kind of the detailed explanation of why I like this game so much. First off, I think the... Oh, look at Zulf there. I think the first thing I want to mention here is the music. And in a lot of indie games, you'll have rather strange music. I don't want to say strange. How about different music? You won't find generic rock or metal or, you know, like metal from DMC, Final Fantasy X, or opera music from Final Fantasy, other Final Fantasies. This isn't that type of game, and I almost want to be quiet just so you can hear the song in the background. But if you actually want to hear it, then, you know, go to YouTube and type in Bastion ending theme song. But I think the music is probably one of the most impressive things about this game. How it's very, very mellow. It's very almost bluesy, but still rock, with the beat in the background with the drums. Steady beat. Now we got a duet going on. It's really quite beautiful. And it just very much suits the playstyle and Rux's narration. Kind of the mellowness and the chilled back. And yeah, so I would give the music probably the highest rating of this game. Not to say that the other parts of the game are bad. Like, the gameplay is very, very nice. I wasn't crazy about all the weapons, but more so the combat style rather than the weapons was very, very fluid, very easy to get into, very easy to switch weapons with, unupgraded or upgraded. So just a very, very good combat style. I think the only issue I had with the combat was the weapons. Like, the machete was okay, it was just very short range, and the Calamity Cannon kind of broke everything, so... Also the battering ram, that was... I don't know how I felt really about the weapons, but more so the combat style, very nice. The story was also pretty good. Of course, this is an indie game, so as I mentioned in the first set, indie games tend to have story more on the back burner, but how do I explain that? More... I want to call the story more artistic rather than in your face. Because, of course, this isn't just a normal, like, text story. Like, oh, the kid went to the final dungeon and he saved his friend. The end! No, you've got Rux the narrator narrating the whole thing, which is a very cool concept, a very, you know, new thing that somehow doesn't really become annoying or intrusive at any point for me. Even though I'm Let's Playing this and talking over it, I had no problem with his constant comments on everything. So that was pretty new and intuitive, in my opinion, unless another game's done it. But I don't remember hearing about a game that's done it as well as this. And just the entire story that's told by Rux, it's just a very smooth style, very smooth. And yeah, of course, I mean, I mean, it's not incredibly detailed, as you can tell, but it is a story. It's a new story. It's not about romance. It's not about saving the princess, which is great. It's something you don't see every day, like an apocalypse, but you know, the world's actually broken apart and there's like 4 survivors. Usually, like, there's no zombies or anything. There's no none of that stuff. It's just pretty much about rebirth, honestly. Rebuilding the world, which is why I chose that ending, because I felt it was more suiting than going back to the past. I felt staying in the present, actually rebuilding the world, was more fitting to the game's theme. And yeah, and there's our badge in the background there. And also the backstory for the characters, I really loved how they... Is it just gonna... Oh. New Game Plus. Begin the journey with all your weapons and XP, new shrine idols and spirits, all Bastion structures buildable, and use the shrine for the toughest challenge. I'm just gonna go ahead and start while I finish my little review. While I finish my little review here. I'm not gonna play very long. While recording, I'll just play about 4 minutes or so.
I'll see you in the next one.
That was also creepy.
Proper story is supposed to start at the beginning.
Right.
Ain't so simple with this one.
So I'm just gonna start talking.
Now here's a kid whose whole
Start
world
talking
got all
over him
twisted,
because we've already
leaving
heard
him stranded on a rock in the
this.
sky.
We've already heard this. I'm
he
sorry.
gets up, sets off for the Bastion,
And-
where everyone agreed to go in case of trouble.
Right. So as I was saying, the backstory is
Ground
very.
forms up under
It's a
his
very
feet
nice
as it
way
blows
of
away. He don't
putting in the
stop to wonder
backstory.
why.
And
Finds his lifelong
this is one of the
friend
reasons I like Final
just
Fantasy VI so
lying in the
much,
road.
because
Well, it's a
they
touching
essentially do the same
reunion.
thing in this game. And they have a central story, of course. You know, the kids of the
He sees what's left of
protagonist,
the rippling wall.
Zolf's the
Years
antagonist.
of
It's a
work
clear-cut
undone in
story.
an instant.
But
In the calamity.
beyond that, you also have a backstory for 3 of the 4 characters in the
Not
game.
a survivor. No man.
And
it's a gas fella.
I mean, if you've ever
Forced
played
out
Final
from
Fantasy, you'll know
underground.
that they do
Kid
this
pops him good.
with, you know, like Shadow's story. To figure out Shadow's story, you have to sleep in the inn in Tamasa, or Tamasa, however you
Kid
pronounce
just
that
rages
place.
for a while.
I love that line. But, you know, you have to sleep in an inn, or for Locke's story, you have to do his
An
quote,
old repeater
loyalty
falls out of the
quest,
sky.
which is what I like to
Gift from the
compare.
gods.
This is
But
what
it
I like to
lasts you.
compare those finding of your companion quests. Find out about Locke's comatose, or actually not comatose,
Kid's
his
worked up
dead
quite a thirst by
girlfriend,
now, so that fountain looks real inviting.
or find out
Sometimes
about
you just need a drink.
I don't know, just other backstories. Really, most of it is optional, is the thing.
A school of squirts tunnels
And
up around
that
him.
just makes me
Must have
wanna.
fled here
That
from
makes
the
me wanna
mines.
learn about it more. It makes me wanna investigate and and find out about them and find out what their motives are. I feel like they did that in this game as well. Like in the main story, you never hear about the kid's past, or about Zia's past, or about Zolf's past. But if you do their little who knows where quests, then you figure out, you know, why they are in the
He
place
sets
that they
foot
are,
inside one of Celandia's
or
famous
why they,
watering holes.
what their reason for carrying on in this world
Haven't
is,
I?
or
Anyway,
what their motive
Rodney's
for,
place just brings back memories.
you know, destroying
Rodney
the
always wanted his
Bastion
ashes
or
scattered
saving
here.
the Bastion is.
Then Kid finds his trusty shield.
And even though it's option, like, you've got a main story. I'm just comparing it to a lot of mainstream
The
games.
security takes him for a
And
thief.
like
Special delivery.
Call of Duty is my generic hate scapegoat game
Windbags start
that I
turning
tend
up the
to
last call.
piss on, essentially. And I'm just looking at it, and the story is just like,
More squirts.
it's just
start
so
coming out
much
of the woodwork.
more inferior to something like this. It really is, and
Big
yet
old
it's
fella pops
regarded
out in
as
front of the
like
kid.
one of the more popular mainstream games that pretty much everybody plays, whether you're a gamer or not. And here you've got a game with fun combat, fun story,
Kid sees the way to the Bastion out the window. It's a bit of a drop.
and it's sad that it's not getting as much recognition with a better story. I mean, like, I guess in Black Ops, the or
He gets a good look at things on
spoilers,
his
if
way
you haven't
down.
played Black Ops, turn your volume down.
He lands on top
3,
of a
2,
breaker's
1,
bow,
Reznov
and it ain't
isn't
broke.
real. There's your spoiler, so I hope you turn your volume down.
Kid
if you
spies
plan
are
on
good perks for
on
some
playing
target practice.
whatchamacallit, Black Ops anytime
You should
soon.
draw the string all the way back.
But in this game, you've got a more intuitive story
Good
than that.
news is the emergency
You've
defense
got
is
a
still
tragedy
working.
in pretty much
Bad
all their
news is
lives.
they're aiming for the kid.
You know, I think actually all of them grew up without parents. If I have to think about that, all of them grew up without parents. Their world
Except
got
a few
destroyed.
pointers from a dusty old
Two of them had to deal with racism. One of them had to deal with a working job from a thankless boss, or for a thankless country, really. And it's just very, so much better
You find the
than the
distillery
stories,
right
than the
next to the
stories you'll
arsenal.
find. Oh,
Tough part of town. One sip of the spirits in that distillery.
Let's see what new
and the
stuff
kid'll
I
feel
got.
Like a new man.
Champagne, really? Side effect 25. Oh wow, that's actually really good. Spirits provide passive bonuses. Yeah, so that's my thought on the story of this game. If you guys can, if you can understand where I'm coming from on this, not that I'm just speaking nonsense, but that's my opinion on this. 10% crit chance. Don't want that. I don't want that. Yeah. So those are pretty much the main reasons why I love this. Why I really enjoyed this game so much. Just very solid, very good. Of course, you have crappy indie games, and you have indie games like this, which are just very nice, very good. It's a shame that they don't get more popularity. Something like, well, I guess Minecraft is indie as well, but something like, you know, Gears of War. I'm not saying Gears of War is a bad game, and it looks pretty good, but I'm sad that a game like this doesn't have as much recognition. It's just, you know,
The arsenal's
tragic,
where the kid can
honestly.
pick the best tools for the job.
It's just tragic, and I want to get my machete. Well, actually, I think I'll just end it here. Final thoughts on the game: super good. Go buy it. It's only 15 bucks on Steam. Support the developers. Definitely worth it. And I'd give it about 9 out of 10. I don't know what that last 1 point out of 10 would be. Maybe I really don't know what that last point. I feel like giving it a 9, honestly. But yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this playthrough. I hope you like what you see. I hope if you were new to me, new to my channel during this playthrough, that you enjoyed my commentary style and playing style and recording style and all that jazz, and I hope you continue to enjoy my stuff. So with that, the kid bids you adieu, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye!
He falls to his death.